So, there's another point here I wanted to get to. This one, I actually have mixed feelings about. I'm not all the way negative, and I'm not all the way positive. I'm actually a bit more negative than I am positive, and that was before I saw the outcry. The Acolyte from Star Wars, the new Disney Plus show. I want you to speak your thoughts before I do. Go ahead. How do you feel about it?
So I know that there's been backlash online, and honestly I haven't been paying attention to it at all. But I saw the trailer. I actually kind of liked it. I like that we're getting a what would that era be called? Like High Republic.
Well, it's
We're getting a prequel to the prequels, kind of.
yeah.
We're getting that era. We're getting the era before the prequels when there was a bunch of Jedi and potentially Sith. And so I'm curious. I think it's gonna be kind of cool. The trailer was cool.
It seems to be right after 3. Because of what the trailer concept was, is that he's out here killing like what's left of the younglings and what's left of the Jedi. So this is like during Order 66. That's what it looks like.
Interesting. I mean, that would be interesting, but I'm pretty sure when they announced the show that they mentioned this was like a time before the prequels.
Really?
Like this is like years before. Yeah, it's like because what Disney really wanted was like to expand more on kind of like the legends like of the universe in Star Wars. And so one thing that hasn't been really touched aside from like video games is the time, the High Republic when there was a bunch of Jedi and shit.
Oh.
And so I think the whole point of the Acolyte is because Disney wanted a show about the Jedi before Order 66.
Also, like old school.
Yeah, like this is like old. Like Anakin, we don't even know if he's going to be alive during the time of the Acolyte. It might be before, he was even a thing.
Well, if that's the case, it sounds like a really decent setting.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to research that, but from what I remember, I think that's what they were talking about.
What I saw there was like, first of all, who's killing all of the Jedi? Like, I never heard of somebody else going around slaughtering Jedi, especially when they first showed the younglings in the Jedi Council. I think it.
Well, I mean, I guess it's just a random Sith.
Yeah,
I think that's like
it might be that.
All right, I just googled it. The Acolyte is set at the end of the Star Wars franchise's High Republic era, approximately 100 years before Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Okay, good. Okay, so I can take that theory out of my head because I'm like, Anakin was Vader. What's up?
I mean, that shit would have been kind of dope if it was like Vader like hunting down the last of Jedi. I would watch.
I would watch that.
A show about that.
I will watch that.
And have Hayden Christensen play Vader. That's all I need.
Easy. I would watch that shit easy. Anyway, So my thoughts of the trailer was very mixed. Mainly, the only thing that I'm looking forward to really is the fight scenes, and como se dice, some of the visuals. First of all, it looks competently shot, so that's cool. I also, como se dice, I also think that the action choreography, there was quite a few moments in there where I saw it and I was like, damn, this is actually going to be pretty cool for fight scenes and for some of the visuals. That being said, I am not at all, como se dice, ready to watch the script work and the performances. I don't think they're going to be that good. From what I saw in the trailers, I'm not seeing it being any kind of deep character work. I'm really not. You know what I mean? Like I'm not seeing any memorable performances in this show. I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, but I'm not seeing it. I'm just being honest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that this is just going to be like an action-heavy Jedi-focused show. I don't think it's going to be this super in-depth. I mean, when's the last time Disney has made something super character focused and in depth for Star Wars?
Right, but the thing is that it should be, the thing is it should be. I mean, look at Rogue One. Those characters, hell, at the end of that movie, some of those deaths were actually they were starting to get me a little bit, especially the blind guy. You know what I mean? Like, they had some great damn character development in Rogue One in one movie with all of those characters. So they are capable of doing that. I don't think I'm going to have any of that, any kind of remorse or like care for any of the characters here, which is kind of crazy, because that's what I respond to. I respond to deep character work, and that's not what this series is going to be. I don't think so. That being said, it can still save itself if it has some really, really, really badass, memorable moments, and plenty of them. Action needs to be plentiful throughout this series, because what we've seen in the script work before, it's definitely not on par. But the big memorable scenes that everyone talks about are the action scenes and the scenes where big characters return, like Anakin and Obi and whatnot. But the thing is that this takes place before any of that, so they're not going to have any cameo appearances. Maybe one character from a long time ago, we don't know. But besides that, we're not going to have any big returns. So that means that these characters are going to have to make their own plot and make themselves interesting. And like I said, from what we've seen from Disney Plus before, they're not really capable of doing that. So we will see. I hope they can. I hope it's great. I know I'm going to watch it when it comes out and talk about it. And I will spew my thoughts. It's a double episode premiere. So let's hope those 2 episodes are worth the damn.
Honestly, the idea of like the show not having any cameo appearances or any links to like the Skywalker saga is what makes me more interested in the show. Because The Mandalorian, which I thought was fucking amazing in seasons 1 and 2, the show got ruined when they tried to implement more of its connection into the expanded universe. When they introduced Ahsoka, when Luke Skywalker shows up. To me, that's what brought down The Mandalorian. And the reason why season 1 is so great is because it's not connected to any of that shit. Season 1 is literally just, hey, this guy's a bounty hunter.
It's in the universe, but it has nothing to do.
Exactly.
It's
a universe.
It has nothing to do with the movies. Right.
Yeah, and so that's kind of what I want more of. And the only thing that has really been able to do that outside of like The Mandalorian season 1 and like the first half of season 2 is the Jedi games, the Star Wars like Jedi
like
Fallen
Star Wars,
Order,
The Force Unleashed. Fucking hell,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and so like Star Wars Jedi Survivor, great fucking game. I loved it, and it does have slight connections to like the movies, but it's nothing impactful, nothing major. It's impactful for that story, but in the larger scope of the Star Wars universe, it's not really that important. And The Mandalorian made it seem like, no, this is really fucking important. Like, you have to watch The Mandalorian now. So I'm kind of, with the Acolyte being separated, makes me more inclined to want to watch the show. Because I'm kind of tired of Star Wars linking everything together and getting characters involved that don't really need to be. So I think, as someone that's been trying to watch these Star Wars shows, this is kind of a breath of fresh air for me.
You know what? I can agree. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm tired of the Skywalker saga and having everything being centered around Anakin or Luke or whoever. I don't need that. Just give me original, interesting characters and a cool story and some badass action. That's all I need.
You know what? That's all I want. I can definitely agree with that. The point that I was making is that at the end of the day, that's what people constantly clip and talk about. Like in their fandoms, they always talk about like, oh, Anakin came back for that one scene. Anakin did this. Obi did that, Course. And so now that this new concept is coming around, it probably won't be as memorable to general audience. But I do agree with you 100% that a new story being told in the Star Wars universe having nothing to do with Skywalker is indeed a breath of fresh air. I agree. I just hope that they go all the way with that. They have a completely separate narrative that's badass, that's completely separate, and make it meaningful. I want new badass characters, Like, you look at a show like Daredevil, it's in the same universe, but it has almost nothing to do with the Avengers storyline. Perfect. That's what I want. So if they can do that and actually make this show extremely memorable and not fuck it up by the 3rd season, I would appreciate it.
Yeah.
So I hope it's good. Unfortunately, I just don't think it's going to be that great. From what I've seen in the marketing, I do not believe that it'll be too great. But I hope it is. I pray it is, because I'm a big fan of Star Wars. Massive fan of Star Wars. So I hope it is good. With that,
I think I have more of a positive outlook between the two of us than the Acolyte. I'm interested.
You do.
I think it's
you do.
Cool.
That's not even close. You definitely do have a more positive outlook on it, and I hope it's good. I really do. If I watch it, and I'm not going to be unfair about it either. You know me. I went into Ghostbusters Afterlife thinking it was going to be not that good, kind of soulless. And then I watched it and I'm like, you know what? This shit's actually kind of fire. You know what I mean? Like, I have no problem with a movie subverting my expectations. 100%. Please wow me. A TV show subverting please wow me. All right? Because at the end of the day, I don't watch stuff to at the end of the day be like, oh, that was okay. Guess I'll go to bed now. Like, no, I don't do that. I watch stuff to enjoy them, to have meaning behind them, to take points that are made in your show or movie and apply them to real life. You know what I mean? That's what I watch shit for. I watch and play narratives so I can feel something other than boredom. All right, so. That's it. That's what I have. I hope the Acolyte is good, but I don't have too much of high hopes. And there's one more thing I wanted to say about it. Apparently, the full plot leaked, which is crazy.
Oh, great.
I'm not going to watch that video, but there is a YouTuber by the name of Star Wars Theory that he's made so many badass videos about like what if scenarios in the Star Wars universe. I will leave a link in the description for that video if you do want to see it, but I am not going to. I don't believe in watching leaks before something comes out because it ruins your immersion entirely. So I'm not gonna watch it, but if you want to, link in the description. Okay. That's it. All right. Anything else you want to say about that?
No. The only thing I've heard of Star Wars Theory is that apparently he's fallen off.
Oh, wow.
That's the only thing I know about him.
What do you do?
I don't know. Like, people used to love him, but I guess now he just kind of, like, hates, I guess, modern Star Wars.
Well, you know.
I from what I know, he complains about anything that isn't, like, the original trilogy, which is like, come on, bro.
Yeah, your whole channel's around it. You gotta...
Yeah, you kind of gotta suck it up.
Or just change your gimmick.
You
know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't watch his content.
He got some great stuff back then, man. I'm telling you, he made like whole like what if scenarios where he would detail it, and he was really good at storytelling. But that was a long time ago, so I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, moving on.